Hey, happy Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday for your lunchtime forecast. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox with Hail Trace, and today we're talking about a pretty low severe weather risk really across the country, across the rest of the next few days. This week it looks like we're going to have a very low chance to see those strong to severe storms. We do have a very quiet weather week ahead, but the biggest risks here, even though we don't have those strong storms, we still have weather risks including fire and flooding concerns as well as extreme heat. So before we get into that, I do want to remind you that if you have not bought your tickets yet, we still have a few available for the free screening of Twisters tonight at 7:30 at the Winchester Drive-In here in Oklahoma City. So I'm going to step out of the way. If you want to scan the QR code, you can go ahead and get that free ticket. You can watch the Twisters movie with us. We're going to have a lot of fun things starting at 7:30, including face painting. We'll also have popcorn and sodas available. That starts at 7:30. The movie itself starts at 8:45. So invite your friends. We would love to see you there. We just have a few more tickets left, so get those soon. All right, let's go ahead and get into what we saw yesterday. Now, we did see a little bit of wind out to the east, wind off to the west as well. We actually saw some hail for some of us. Farther up to the north, this is one of those areas that I said had a low chance to see some small hail yesterday, and that is exactly what we saw in places like North Dakota. And we even saw a little bit of hail down in Kansas as well. Your rainfall totals here were a lot more impressive across the south and east. It's been very sporadic in other places across the country. Almost feels a little bit random here in places like southwest Kansas. It's one of those types of showers and storms that maybe your neighbor got some rain and you didn't get anything at all, right? So it's been pretty sporadic across the plains, but a lot more widespread across places like Dallas and Memphis in the south and east. And that is exactly where we see those showers and storms once again today, down on some of those states that touch the Gulf Coast. Now, farther up to the north, we could see a few showers and storms, but farther out to the west, we are going to stay dry today. Taking a look at those current conditions here, it looks like the bulk of this moisture is just off the coast of Texas. As I mentioned, our western communities, you're dry, you're also very toasty today. Las Vegas at 102. We're still below average here in Oklahoma City, okay? Enjoy it while it lasts, because you'll see in this forecast that we do have temperatures that will warm well above the 90s, most likely into the triple digits as we get into next week. But we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Enjoy this weather while you can. Temperatures are in the 80s with a little bit of rain all up and down the southeast and east coast. Let's take a look right into Oklahoma City right now. We're at 84 here in the city, but we've got 87 up in Guthrie, 85 out in Shawnee, 84 in Norman. And taking a look at DFW, Dallas in the upper 70s. Holy moly, very lucky Dallas, 78. I'm sure that feels amazing. A little bit cloud cover out there. That looks really nice. Feel like temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer than that. We've got 85 in Oklahoma City, 85 in Dallas, even seeing close to the triple digits or even reaching the triple digits in some of our more humid communities. Farther off to the south and east, we've got 87 up in Iowa. Okay, taking a look at that next chance for storms, what we're watching for here is some good instability farther down to the south and east. So that'll be where your showers and thunderstorms are that are producing that potential for flooding today, excessive rainfall down here. Other chances for storms up to the north and east into places like the Midwest. So Northern Plains, Midwest, that's kind of what we're watching for the potential for storms today. And then we've got another chance for storms out on the East Coast in places like North Carolina and Virginia. This is the exact same area where we saw chances for high wind and that tornado potential yesterday. What about the hail risk? Well, it's on the board, but it's a very low risk, very similar to what we saw yesterday. Very low risk here. So I think the best chances to see any sort of small hail will be up in the northern plains and the Midwest, the northern Mississippi Valley here. So I have our hail map to highlight places like Michigan and Wisconsin. I really think that we'll stay dry farther back to the west here. And for some of those areas that are expecting high wind and that storm potential today out on the East Coast. I just don't think you're going to get any hail out of this. That hail risk will be farther up to the north. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. What's the biggest risk for today? Well, your hail map, your hail forecast shows, as I mentioned, places like Michigan off to Wisconsin. It's going to be some very, very small hail. The biggest hail size that you could see in this area will be up to the size of a quarter. I really think that this will be on the smaller side, and it'll be a pretty low risk to see any of that hail as well. But it was still enough. I went ahead and put it on the board. Other places like Oklahoma and Kansas today, for example, could see some very isolated storms. Most of us will stay dry, and this will most likely be non-severe without any of that large hail at all. Okay, taking a look at the largest hail size, as I mentioned, quarter-sized hail there, 1-inch size hail. Okay, taking a look at that best chance for severe storms today. So this will be your high wind threat. The tornado threat compared to yesterday is a lot lower, so we're not expecting a tornado out of this, but a few of these thunderstorms could definitely produce some high winds, especially farther closer to the coast right here. Okay, so we're talking about North Carolina and Virginia here. Okay, we're going to continue to track farther back to the west, taking a look at places like Tennessee and down to the south, where you can see we're going to have a line of showers and storms that will continue to produce rain just over and over and over in here. And as we say every single day, it doesn't matter how much rain you're getting, it matters how fast you're getting that rain. So flash flooding or flooding concerns could happen very quickly. I know we do have some flooding concerns in the central portion of Texas today as well. We've already got some of those advisories and warnings issued. That's something that we could see if some of these showers and storms sit in the same place for too long. We could see that farther back to the south and east. Taking a look at other places where we're expecting that hail later on this afternoon and evening hours. Again, a very low chance, especially for some of these more isolated storms. We could see some hail out of that. That'll be through this afternoon and evening, wrapping up into the late evening and late night hours here. Okay, I do see some of your comments on here. Thanks, Darren, for tuning in today. You may be able to see that at the bottom of your screen. He's saying, great job. Well, we appreciate you watching today. Now let's take a look at tomorrow. So for Wednesday, we are watching for another round for flooding down to the south and east. The severe risk here, once again, very low. As I said at the very beginning of the forecast, it's a quiet weather week in terms of severe weather, but we do have other hazards going on here. So if we head to our hazards map, the biggest hazard that we're watching for here will be that flooding risk anywhere from the Four Corners all the way down to southern Texas, out to the south and east, and up the East Coast. A wide area expecting that potential flooding for today. Showers and storms will be likely all the way from now into the late night hours here. A little bit more isolated the farther west you go, and very dry farther off to the north and west. So we do have an elevated fire risk in this area. We have ongoing fires right now in this area as well. So if your skies, not even out to the north and west, if you're in Oklahoma, the plains area, if your skies are looking a little bit milky today, I like to call it, it's not that bright blue sky, it's kind of hazy sky. So I like to call it kind of like a milky sky. That's probably the smoke from out to the west moving farther to the east, and you're probably seeing that smoke in your area. It may smell like smoke out there as well. That's also definitely possible. Now, what I want you to do is for sunset tonight, look off to the west, look at that sunset. Does it look a bit redder than normal? That is also because of the smoke. So if you see some of those changes in the sky, it could be because of the fires farther out to the west. And you can see that smoke map here. This is our surface smoke. You can see that that extends all the way to the northern plains, even places like the Oklahoma Panhandle. But we can see those skies, those milky skies, even here in Oklahoma City, but it's a lot more concentrated the farther west that you go. Okay, taking a look at some of those heat watches and warnings, we do have excessive heat advisories, watches and warnings in effect there for extreme heat that's headed our way. If we take a look over the next few days, you can see that those temperatures are above average for some, especially out to the west. We have widespread triple digits for some, the 90s farther back to places like the northern plains and off to the Four Corners, and even the 80s trying to hold on here in Oklahoma and Texas, but they don't hold on for long. We have the 90s returning as we end the work week. And it doesn't stop there. Unfortunately, temperatures are just getting hotter as we head into next week. So we're talking end of July, early August at this point. Well above average temperatures are expected. So what this is, this map shows us the likelihood for temperatures to be above average. So we have a high likelihood through the northern plains, even into places like Denver, for temperatures to be above average. So what I did was I put our average temperature on the map. Chicago, 84. 90 degrees for your average in Denver, and 95 here in Oklahoma City. So we have a very high likelihood of being above average, above these numbers every single day, or most of the days as we head into the first week of August. So it's definitely gonna be we're gonna swing the other direction. While we have had the cooler temperatures here in Oklahoma City, we're gonna go back up above average, and it'll be pretty toasty as we head into August here. Okay, let's take a look at those rainfall chances. I mentioned all of that flooding over the next few days down to the south and east. It looks like we're still gonna be above average for that rainfall. Out to the east, very, very dry and hot out to the west as we head into the first week of August as well. So prepare for the heat, drink tons of water. You guys know this is what happens this time of the year anyway. Okay, follow us on all social media. Thanks for joining us today. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Get your free Twisters tickets for tonight. We'd love to see you there. Give us a call for any of our plans. We can get you hooked up with a hail map, a wind map, or even a tornado map at 855-334-4245. Or email us at info@hailtrace.com. Even head to our website. On our website and all of our social media pages, we like to post all things weather. So if you're a weather enthusiast like us, you're gonna love our social media pages. You're gonna love our website. All right, thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. We'll see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow.